So we're going to talk about dads today. I've all got mom and dad and things that they did well and things that they struggled with. And I thought today I would share some of the things that my dad did well. So my dad was an awesome, calming influence in my life. He just did a lot of things that were really good and really helped me survive my childhood that was a little hairy in many ways because of his calmness. He was really good at fixing cars, and he collected Mustangs, and he always had a car he was working on. And so when I got to be of driving age, I got a lot of broken down Mustangs, cars that had problems on the road, and he had to come rescue me, and he just never complained. And it wasn't even in the day of cell phones, so it was a little bit tricky to find a way to reach him and have him come and help me. He was also into motorcycles, and in California, you could get your motorcycle license when you were 15 and a half. You weren't allowed to have anybody else on the bike with you. So I was able to get my motorcycle license when I was 15 and a half and have independence. And I really appreciated that. I really needed it. And it was something that he provided for me that was really necessary. I remember lots of long family trips. My dad was really good at driving through the night, and so would take a long trip from here to Utah and in the summertime, and would always start at nighttime. And my favorite place was, we had a lot of kids in a big van, and my place was on the floor, laying down, and I'd have a flashlight and a book to read, and I'd just read until I'd fall asleep. And then when I'd wake up, would be almost there because he will have driven all the way through the night. And I just remember him making that sacrifice so that the trips could go fast and be fun for all of us. It was he was a super dad in many ways. I can remember once needing some school supplies and just mentioning it to him, Dad, I need these folders, and golly, it would be nice to have a box to keep some of these things organized in, because I was already kind of an organization freak. And I remember him showing up like 2 days later with exactly what I needed, and thinking, how did he remember that? I'm one of 8 children. How did he remember just what I needed and to get me what I needed and what I desired to be more organized? And I really appreciated that. There was one Christmas I had made gifts for all of my friends, and it came time that I needed to deliver them. And school was out, and I wasn't going to be seeing people. And I asked him if he'd drive me around. He didn't even bat an eye. Just, sure, hop on the motorcycle. And he drove me around to all my friends' homes to drop off the gifts for everyone. He was just there for me a lot. Really there for me a lot. His patience was never ending. My mom was not quite as patient in a lot of ways. And so he was really there to help balance out our home life. I was stung by a bee when I was 17, and it was not a good experience. I had been stung when I was younger and I didn't have a reaction, but this time I had a very bad reaction, and parents weren't home, and my brother Kevin helped take the stinger out. I found out later that you're kind of supposed to use a credit card or something to get the stinger out so that the pus doesn't go into your system. But I had an allergic reaction. It was pretty scary. I started itching everywhere. I started swelling everywhere. I remember looking in the mirror and just starting to look kind of like a monster from Lost in Space that I had been watching. And I loved that my brother was there to take me to the hospital and help me quickly get the help that I needed. And I remember that night laying there in bed and just being really scared, still coming down from it. Not that I had a hard time breathing, but I was just worried about having a hard time breathing and the swelling and what it had done to me. And I remember my dad coming in beside my bed and just saying, Shalene, someday you're going to either have a child that has this same experience or a friend, and you're going to be able to help them because you know what to do and because of what you've gone through. And do you know that exact thing happened? I was in another country as a 18-year-old in a song and dance group, and somebody else in the group got stung by a bee, and both of our bee kits were on the other bus. and our bus had broken down, and I was able to keep her calm and help her through it without any problem. And I never would have imagined that so quickly that would have come to pass, and it did. My dad was right. He was right most of the time. There was one night, and this is just the last experience to share with you, where he embarrassed me, but it was good. So I and a friend had a friend whose family was going to be out of town for the weekend, and she was at work, and she was coming home late from work and wanted me to come over and spend some time with her. I may have been even planning to spend the night, I'm not sure, but my good friend, who was a boy, and I went walking over there to Tammy's house, and she had left the key under the mat for us. We were just going to go in and wait for a few minutes and then play games or something with her when she got home. And we dropped the key and we couldn't find it. We were looking for the key as my dad drove up, shining the lights on their front porch. And my sister had said that I and my boyfriend had walked around to Tammy's house, and that we were going to be waiting there for Tammy alone. And Dad got out of the car and said, "Shalane, get in the car. We're going home." That's not the right thing to do, to be there alone at Tammy's house with my friend. And I was embarrassed. My friend was embarrassed, felt that my dad didn't trust him. But it wasn't even all that. My dad said, it's just the appearance of not doing the right thing and putting yourself in a situation where something might be inappropriate. And I really appreciated that. And through the years, how I've loved that I had that example and learned from him. He was a good man, and he's gone now, but I wrote a Father's Day poem that I wanted to share with you about my dad and my father-in-law and my sweet husband, Joe. My dad, his comfort and his kindness, he always had a smile. When I was young, I felt his love. He had a calming style. My dad-in-law, again, a smile. How could I be so blessed? His calm demeanor, a righteous man. He truly was the best. Joe, the father of our children, words simply cannot express. His patience and his spirit, again, there's calmness in excess. I watch my sons and sons-in-law. Each one is different from the rest. They are so choice and good and kind, soft yet strong. I am so impressed. With all the ups and downs in life, it's crazy, yet I feel still. So thankful for all these men, their goodness and goodwill. So today I count my blessings to get to be Joe's wife and joyfully watch them care and love these wonderful men in my life. Oh, thanks for letting me share. My dad wasn't perfect, but I'm working on seeing people deeply and seeing the positives. So wish you to have an absolutely joyful day. Thanks for being with me.